So here he gives us the commission. He says, all right, find those that are in a place of weakness. Strengthen their hands. They're not able to work as they're supposed to. Strengthen their knees. What does that look like? I don't know. I just remember years ago, a friend of mine that was fresh out of the military talked about they would have to run these great distances. And sometimes one of their troops would just lose all strength and collapse. And so they would run over to him because they're all graded as a group. One person would take the backpack, put it on top of their own backpack. Two other soldiers would take the soldier by the arms, and they would actually carry him the rest of the race. He didn't have the strength to finish the race on his own, so two others that had strength would carry him the rest of the race until they finished. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the fact that we stand with one another and we hold each other up until our knees are strengthened, until we're at a place where we can carry out the very thing that God called us. But it didn't stop there with just physical service, a touch, a embrace, holding somebody up. It moves into a prophetic realm that I don't think was I don't see this passage as somebody waiting to get a word from God so they can prophesy to their friend. Instead, I think this is an automatic decree that we owe to one another because we know the nature of God and the overriding promise of God for any situation in our life. So what is it? Say to the one who is fearful, don't be afraid. God is going to vindicate you with full recompense. Everything that's been lost, he will restore to you. Why is that important? It's not just empty encouragement. How many of you know what I mean when I say empty encouragement? It's somebody who's trying hard but it doesn't hit the mark and doesn't fix anything. This is actually the release of the grace of God into an individual's life that helps to bring them into the very answer that they ache for. So look at it again. Say, here I'm strengthening hands, strengthening knees. Now, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. God's going to vindicate you. There's nothing that we are facing that he hasn't already provided a solution for. He will fully restore everything to you. And they may not have the ability to face that thing on their own, but it's all right because we got their arms. And we're standing there bringing that kind of encouragement. Why is this vital? To me, in fact, in my Bible, I wrote Ephesians 4:29 down next to this passage because for me, it perfectly illustrates a truth that I saw in Ephesians 4:29. Here's the verse. I'll quote it to you. Let no unwholesome word proceed out of your mouth, but only such a word as is good for edification, according to the need of the moment, that it might give grace to those who hear. All right? No negative words, encouraging words, only edifying words, according to the need of the moment, so it has specific application, that it might give grace to those here. That's the fascinating part to me, is that I could come to you and give you an encouraging word, and somehow that would bring grace. Where does grace come from? It comes from God. Grace is what? It's God's favor. Okay, work with me here. It's God's favor. I take this individual, I come to them with an encouraging word. I said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. God's going to vindicate you. You fully supply whatever was stolen from you. I will stand with you. We're going to see this through. God will fully vindicate every loss you've ever suffered. And we make this decree. But here's what Scripture says. When we bring that word of edification according to the need of the moment, it gives grace. Where does grace come from? God. So let me put it in my language. He sees me choosing an individual to encourage, and he says, all right, that is where I will add grace. I will now release divine favor where my son has shown favor. We don't manipulate or control God, but he's given us permission. Every person in this room has been given the ministry of reconciliation. It's in 1 Corinthians. Every person. Every one of us have certain overlapping responsibilities. And in this case is the responsibility to stand as one who believes in the vindicator. I can't vindicate you. I can't fully provide for you what was lost, but I can stand with you out of my confidence because I have hope, out of my confidence in who God is and his promise that prevails over my life, over your life. And I can say, he will fully vindicate you.